Oh, Tashidele, hello everybody. Yeah, I hope all of you had a meaningful week before, and I hope that we will have meaningful session today. And welcome back to the to the session. Yeah. So we start with short moments focusing on the breathing, to calm our system of body and mind, and try to place in the present moment sense of settledness, focus, openness, in the field of virtuous aspirations. Yeah, sense of lightness, both physically and mentally. So now take a few moments to acknowledge the blessings that we had, the blessings of the Buddha, blessings of the Guru, blessings of the Dharma Sangha, blessings of parent and virtuous people around you. You know, could be your partner, could be your children, whatever way it may be. Everyone, without any doubt, have involved to bring your life into this position where we are still breathing, still alive. How fortunate. Have freedom, opportunities to study Dharma, and have opportunity to meditate on the Dharma, accumulate vast merits, able to engage in purifications of past wrongdoings, negative imprints. We have full opportunity, and we are trying our best. We have full freedom to, deconstruct the negative emotions that we build from beginningless lifetime. And, we got full freedom, full opportunity to construct the very steady walls of virtues, steady walls of the mandala of Buddha's realm or enlightened state, or build the state of enlightened state. Very steadily, consistently, we all have been doing that. How fortunate. How fortunate. Unbelievable fortunate. So all the past, present, future Buddhas, past, present, future friends, relatives, everyone have contributed for that. Feel grateful for them. And feel how fortunate where your position is. These are not just nice kind of visualizations or nice kind of thinking for the sake of just simply thinking. It is reality. This is the fact. Directly, indirectly, many of us here from very childhood, from very young time, if not at least for the past few years, if not at least for the past few days onward, or at least today onward, or right very now, that we are benefiting directly and indirectly to numberless sentient beings, through our just simply even setting aspirational, compassionate attitude, compassionate motivation. All of us here, we have done our morning meditations, morning setting, altruistic motivations, and that benefits, that without any doubt brought benefit to the entire numberless sentient beings. How fortunate, how powerful that your life is, how meaningful your life has been. Just simply, no question about those of you who have directly engaged in helping the needs of others, like taking care of old parents and those who need help, taking care of your partner, those who are in trouble, could be financially, health, or any crisis. You are being out there, being out there for him or her with patience, with capability of listening, capability of being impatient by understanding that he or she is in trouble, therefore, bursting up with anger, bursting with frustrations, maybe scoldings to you, even though you are there to take care of him or her. But here, he or her is scolding you, but just simply have the mind of patience, just to be able to understand he or her suffering and understanding these are the voice of suffering. So instead of giving up helping that person, you develop even greater compassion, greater gentleness, greater understanding. You see. Many of you are doing that right now. And you have been doing that for a long time. And that is the act of engaging compassion. That is the essence of the Dharma. That is the essence, the meaning of our life, meaning of good person's life, meaning of good spiritual practitioner's life. Each and every one of you have done that, in different ways. So that is, to be acknowledged and feel grateful for yourself and get even more motivated. Feel life is so meaningful that you can be there for someone who is suffering. That is the whole essence of what Buddha tried to bless us, to develop that quality. So when these qualities are developed in our mental continuum, even for just one person, even for just in one act, to just one individual person, or even an animal like cats or dogs or crocodile or whatever, Buddha's purpose is fulfilled. The Buddha revealing Dharma, the purpose is fulfilled. The gurus, our spiritual gurus, tirelessly working for us is fulfilled. You see, so these are all need to remind ourselves, need to acknowledge, then get more motivated to live longer, to live healthier, to live happier, to live more purposeful for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, well-being, starting from the closest person or closest pets that you have. So how amazing, Some of us must be in a position that always people come and ask help for this, for that, for this problem, for that problem. And if we think correctly, this is the most fortunate thing, that you able to be helpful for someone's need, instead of you are in a position to go and ask help from others. So in that understanding, the more we get opportunity to help when others are in the needs, and that is the most purposeful of our spiritual life, of our good person, good human being's life. So each and every one of you have not just in aspiration, but in actual action. Just even each and every one of you have family members or partners, children or whatever. You at least taking very good care of them, especially when they are in trouble. And this is an amazing virtue, amazing Dharma, you see. So this is something that we should feel very, very proud and happy. And these are called the blessings of the Buddha. in the Sangyegi, Trile, blessings of the Buddha comes in this kind of forms. So therefore, we're thankful to Guru, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And with the heart of, requesting, continue to bless me, bless yourself, to have even more energy to able to to fulfill the purpose of all these blessings. So for that, then we go for refuge in Guru, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And those of us who already have refuge, here you can refresh refuge practice. Sangye chodang soji chonamla chanchu pado dane kyasunche daji chinsun jebe chonamye rola penche sangye doba. Sangye chodang soji chonamla chanchu pado dane kyasunche daji chinsun jebe chonamye rola penche sangye doba sho. Sangye chodang soji chonamla chanchu pado dane kyasunche daji chinsun jebe chonamye rola penche sangye doba sho. Sangye chodang soji chonamla chanchu pado dane kyasunche daji chinsun jebe chonamye Dola benje sanje dubra yo semje damje dewa da dewe ju dan dembra ju je semje damje dunga da dunga ji ju dan dawa semje damje dunga me be dewa da mi dawa ju je semje damje ni re cha da ni dan dewe ta nya. So with the thoughts of four immeasurable thoughts, strengthen, strengthen the altruistic intention. Dedicating entirety of one's life, every single moment, and in particular this very session, to be cause of numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of free enlightenment. Be an absolute antidote, complete antidote to eradicate entire sufferings and its causes within each and every single numberless sentient beings. Semje damje dewa dan dewe ju dan dembra ju je semje damje dunga dan dunga je ju dan dawa ju je semje damje dunga me be dewa dan me dawa ju je semje damje ni re cha dan ni dan dawe dan yong lan nebra ju semje damje dewa dan dewe ju dan dembra ju je semje damje dunga dan dunga je ju dan dawa ju je semje damje dunga me be dewa dan me dawa ju semje damje ni re cha dan ni dan dawe dan yong lan nebra ju Kange duzene zone dawa damje bambe jire da bejene de zeba konam de la cha ze Tony ni je sung do ju be na ma che je jo kan je den de go cha na be mo ten de ja zo la so wa de so da ju chin je lo. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we will continue from the Lojong text, in particularly right very now we are still continuing from Sage Shibuchugi Janzen's 7-point thought transformation commentary, and we are at page 106. And this is the from the two main subject of the taking adversities onto the path to enlightenment. The first one is taking adversities path to enlightenment through the conventional bodhicitta, and now the second is the taking adverse condition onto the path by means of training in ultimate awakening mind, training in emptiness. So, so this subject is the essence of the Dharma. Is the essence of the entire Dharma, entire purpose of the Dharma, the essence of the entire 84,000 teaching. And of course, for Mahayanic Dharma, then the entirety of the teaching, contained within this true practice, taking all samsaric experiences into development of the true awakening mind, bodhicitta and emptiness. So even to those who practice Sarvaka and Patyaka Buddha's path, even though they are their purpose is self-liberation, but in reality, the nirvana of the self-liberation is not ultimate nirvana. Just matter of the time, the Sarvaka Buddhas and Patyaka Buddhas will be awakened by the blessings of the Buddhas and the aspirations of the Bodhisattvas, and they will awake from the very stable concentration on nirvana in peace, and they will enter into the development of the altruistic, the attitude bodhicitta, and altruistic wisdom, the wisdom realizing emptiness in relation to the wisdom taking as an antidote to eradicate the obscuration to omniscience. You see, so therefore, no question about this practice is the essence of the Mahayanic Dharma. It is also ultimately is the essence practice of the true lower yanas too. You see, so as far as concerned with the Tantra, then of course the whole essence is to again to develop the most advanced attitude and the most advanced wisdom, which to become the direct cause of the enlightened mind and the dharmakaya state of the enlightenment. You see, so therefore, is most essential practice. Not only that, even in our worldly world, in particularly in today's time, where all the adversities are overwhelming, you see, in particularly right very now, right very today, there's so much natural distractions are happening. Almost all the four elements are completely, get distractions. You see, there's just a few days ago, major earthquake happened. Huge, water flood distractions, rain, heavy flood distractions, fire distractions, wind distractions. Then on top of that, this pandemic crisis are still overwhelming. Those of us who are in Australia are very fortunate, compared to others, but still it's still needed to be very careful, not completely eradicated yet. And many other parts of the world are immensely suffering due to this coronavirus, in many ways, in many different ways like that. Then politically, so much divisions are happening, you see. So no question about the intensity of the delusion and the subtle karmas, but even the obvious one, the creation of the karma, the obvious one, the negative karmas are overwhelming, as well as the impact of the karma, the subtle one, no question about it. The pervasive suffering itself, the samsara itself, is the result of past karma, and so subtle that without using deeper dharma wisdom, we don't even realize that is a suffering. But then the gross one, the suffering of pain and suffering of changes, is overwhelming. Overwhelming. Not only human, but even the animals can feel it. So you see, so the adversities are almost like there's not even a single places where there's no adversities. You see, as long as this mental, such as fear, delusions, as long as those exist, then adversities are always there. You see, so but in the eyes of the Dharma, in the eyes of who practice Lojong, in the eyes of who take the teachings of taking adversities onto the path to enlightenment, then entire these adversities are, in fact, is not adversity. Entire samsara is, in fact, is not a suffering wall. Not a bad thing. It is suffering wall, but it's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. So all the inconvenience that we feel, we encounter, we understand, all those are not inconvenient in the eyes of the practitioner of bodhicitta and emptiness, in the eyes of the Lojong practitioner. You see, even the health crisis that oneself need to go through, and the health crisis that others, one's loved ones has to go through, in the eyes of the Lojong, in the eyes of the cultivation of bodhicitta and emptiness, and these are not a weakness to you. It's not something will weaken you. Rather, it will make you stronger. Make you more purposeful. You see, will make you not to be a victim of it. Rather, these experiences will bring immense of wisdom and immense of virtuous purposes. You see, so as long as we carry this practice as a guideline, and we practice diligently, and application of these practices, effectively, then you see, you are a person that who had the entire shield of protection. You see, so for such practitioner, then can able to perform even greater benefit to many other sentient beings. Starting from someone that to whom that you needed to handle or take care directly, you become very, very powerful. You become very motivational. You become strength of that weak person. That the person who is in trouble. Your energy become a very positive energy to the cure, to the solving of others' problem. You see, these are the benefit. These are the benefit of having the eyes of the Dharma, having the eyes of the Lojong, having the protections of the Lojong. Take the in particular the practice of taking adversities into the path to enlightenment. When you carry this attitude, when you carry this as your way to experience and way to perceive things in samsaric experiences, if you carry this teaching as your eye senses, your ear senses, your feeling senses, you see, when you relate to other situation, when you relate to all these misfortunate situations, uh, uh, it will I would say it will make yourself as a very powerful cure to other suffering, very powerful atmosphere to surround the suffering people, to be conditioned for their cure. You see, so it is very, very powerful and very, very important. No question about how much it will take care of yourself for your mental and physical health, but it also will be so helpful taking care of taking care of the others. You see, so if you carry these teachings as a hard practice, let's say even a cat or dog, if they are suffering, they cannot even speak to you, they cannot express, but yourself carrying this practice and being around them is the healing for them. You see, the energy is so powerful that you may not even perceive it. You may not even able to understand it. You need a higher kind of wisdom, higher kind of clarity to really understand how powerful your energy is when you carry these attitudes, as your main attitude when you relate to others, in particular those suffering beings. You see, so no question about among the in a good time, people are happy, and you are carrying this attitude and be among them, you contribute even greater positive energy like that. So you see, so it's extremely relevant and one of the most powerful teaching that we should adopt it. You see, so yeah, so like that. So today we will go through the emptiness aspect of the teaching, that how you transform adversities onto the path to enlightenment. So taking adverse condition onto the path by means of training in ultimate enlightenment, following this, the second, taking adverse condition onto the path of enlightenment by means of training in ultimate awakening mind, is presented in the following. With the three views and treasury of space, the protections of yoga is unexcelled. By meditating on illusion as a four Buddha's body, emptiness is protection unsurpassed. So with the three views, so the viewing every conceptualization as a resounding signal of ultimate reality, the first one. Then viewing all illness as embodiment of kindness, viewing all malevolent forces, harm givers, as embodiment of kindness. So these are the three views. Then, with the three views, the treasury of space. So the treasure of space is talking about the emptiness, the three views of emptiness. And the protection of yoga, when you take this as your mind training, your mental exercise, then the protection is unexalted. By meditating on illusion as a four Buddha's body, then meditating on the first one, the unborn has no cessation. The unborn has no cessation. This absence of cessation is unceasing enjoyment body of the Buddha. Before that, so when the sickness, malevolent forces, and your own self are examined with the pristine cognition of discriminative awareness, none are found to have ever come into being. This is the unborn Dharmakaya. The first Dharmakaya was the first of the four bodies of the Buddha. The unborn has no cessation, and this absence of cessation is the unceasing enjoyment Buddha body. The second. Between origination and cessation is no abiding, and this absence of abiding is the non-abiding emanation Buddha body. The third one. That which does not exist in any of the three times is devoid of substantial reality, and this absence of the substantial reality is the natural Buddha body, the fourth Buddha's body. So meditating on the illusion as the four Buddha's body, emptiness is protection unsurpassed. So if you take all those malevolence and misfortunes and sufferings, taking as a cause or taking as a reason, or understanding in ultimate reality, becoming as a cause to that result of the four Buddha, or actualizing the state of four Buddha within those circumstances itself. You see. So in short, the whatever sufferings or malevolence, harm givers, etc., all the misfortune, all the samsara is product of our mind, product of the concept. When these concepts, and these concepts are the gross concept. When these gross concepts withdraw and bring into complete ceasing and discovering the absolute nature of the mind, you discover Buddha nature. You discover the absolute Dhammakaya state within your own mind. So that is the first one, you see. And that qualities of the Dharmakaya illustrating into the benefit, beneficial act, beneficial deeds, then the later two form bodies, such as the Sambhopakaya body, then the Nirmanakaya bodies, you actualize within that ultimate nature. Because within that ultimate nature of Dharmakaya, it sees the entire contaminations, entire contaminated entire contaminated existence. So that sees the contaminated, contaminated samsaric, external, substantial existent. In actual reality, there's no external substantial existent out there. In actual reality, in ultimate reality, there's no substantial, substantially sickness, substantially harm giver exists physically out there, other than the imputation of our mind. You see, so in the wisdom of the Dharmakaya, when you look into the problem, when you look into the suffering, when you look into the harm givers, it is just simply, imputations of the conceptual mind. When that conceptual mind is seized, you actualize the, newborn, or was it? You actualize the don't say newborn. You actualize the ultimate bodies of the unceasing, the natural state of the benefit, mainly labeled, characterized by the qualities of the Sambhavakaya and by the qualities of the Nirmanakaya. And in that way, then you actualize the second two bodies of the Buddha. Then, in the nature of the ultimate reality, is definitely possible. It definitely brings about the possibility of total eradication of entire misconceptions, because the misconceptions are just simply misunderstanding. And when you bring about the absolute clarification of the misunderstanding, it call you able to bring the absolute eradications of the defilements. Whether you call as obscuration to nirvana, obscuration to omniscience, whether you call as a delusion or the tendency of delusion. When you come into absolute clearance of those misunderstanding, or clearance of those misconceptions, you actualize the cessation, in absolute cessations of no more stains, and no more hallucinations, no more delusions, no more tendencies of the misunderstanding or the delusions, which is called the state of the natural Buddha state, which is called the absolute, the cessations of the entire false, which is Buddha's truth body. So this is how you bring about the Buddha's four body. So in another word, this particular section, the teaching is also called as the practice of, the Lojong practice of taking, what do you call the, I can't remember exact word, basically taking practices onto the Buddha's four bodies. So I think it may come later. So conclude decisively that everything in this world of appearance, both the external environment and the being within, such as the object of impairment and agents of impairment, are only deluded perceptions of your own mind. So both the external environment, being within it, and object of impairment, the agents of impairment, are only deluded perceptions of your own mind. When you talk about the three view, you can also relate to here. The viewing emptiness of the external environment, the emptiness nature of the being within, then emptiness nature of the agent of impairment. All are understanding that these are just simply, diluted perceptions. These are only existing on the diluted perceptions of your own mind. In actual reality, it do not exist from its own side. It do not exist out there as how we interpret, or as how we view, or as how we experience. The reality is, it is empty of substantial existing, substantial existing. In reality, is the empty of substantial existing of the natural environment, then also empty of substantial existing within all the living beings, and also is substantially empty of substantially existing on the agent. As mere deceive, diluted appearance. So these are mere deceive and diluted appearance. Whatever you see out the world, whatever you see as ordinary people, even the ordinary thinking, all these are mere deceptive, diluted appearance. Both polarities will cease within moment, with no time either to endure or to engage in any negation or affirmation. So these are all these diluted appearances, since there's no core, since there's no basis, since there's no reality, since there's no truth. So it is just simply polarized by a diluted mind. So therefore, all will cease within a moment. The moment you realize the emptiness of the three things, you cease all those misconceptions, and the delusions will be naturally will cease within a moment. It's not something like taking a gradual process. You see, it's just a matter of flipping the misconception, flipping the wisdom from the misconception. Flipping your understanding, your interpretation from the way how we usually interpret, understand, into a wisdom way of understanding, reality way of understanding, the truthful way of understanding. It just from the object side, there's nothing to kind of flip, nothing kind of that you need to pick up from somewhere and place onto somewhere. Nothing. Nothing. It's just simply the subject, the changes of the subject, changes of the mind, you see. So it's just matter of moment. The gap between right to wrong, or was a gap between wrong to right. The wrong from beginningless lifetime to up to this very moment can be made into a right within that one very single moment. It doesn't take eons. It doesn't take many days or many hours of work. The moment our understanding is flipped, our understanding of truth is flipped in our mind. Right there, that moment, the entire so-called as a delusion is ceased. Entire misconception is ceased. You see, or in other words, it's purified. You see, so like that. So that is one of the reasons why emptiness is the direct antidote, and one of the most powerful, dharma. In other words, the dharma meaning is a correction to the mistake. Even the bodhicitta, the conventional bodhicitta, cannot play that role. Nothing else can play that role, the role that emptiness wisdom can play. Because in Tibetan is we call Zindang Möngal. It has to be the mind that that has to be complete 100% entirety opposite from the negation, and that you see from inherent existing the direct opposite to the concept of inherent existence, the mind of inherent existence is the lack of inherent existence. Only that. You see, so until that one don't realize the lack of inherent existence, we cannot eradicate, we cannot seize completely, completely from the root of the mistaken idea, like that. So. So will cease within the moments, with no time either to endure or to engage in any negation or affirmation. You see, it's not kind of, as I mentioned before, that you don't need some kind of like layers of tool to negate the negation. The negating the negation is just simply having the complete opposite mind. That is the wisdom realizing emptiness. Here what we are talking about is the negating the root cause of all these harm givers and sufferings, etc., which is the self-grasping attitude. You see, self-grasping attitude. You see, self-grasping attitude only can self-grasp in order to negate the self-grasping attitude. It just simply requires the absolute opposite mind. That is realizing the empty of substantial existence, empty of inherent existence. So as long as you understand that, the grasping of the inherent grasping or substantial, grasping to a substantial reality, substantial existence will be ceased. You see, so it's totally to be negated from even from an imprint. For the future further continuation of arising of those negations, then you realize, directly of the emptiness. You see, so whether to do with the person or whether to do with the phenomena, starting from your physical aggregates or anything, in order to eradicate the grasping, as we discussed in the past classes, the grasping comes in the attachment, aversion, ignorance. Grasping comes in many different forms. You see, so if we wish to eradicate the grasping to anything that which bothers you, then the best antidote is to realize the opposite mind of that grasping, which is the lack of substantial existence or lack of inherent existence. So as long as you develop that wisdom, then that grasping will be without needed even taking a moment. It would just negate right there, like that. You see. So, but in order to reach there, of course, first we need to understand the characteristic of the negation. Then after that, then we need to understand the clear characteristic of the wisdom. Then you contemplate. Then you meditate. Have to engage in analytical meditation. Then the absorption meditation. So with the help of this few process, we reach to a point that you realize the absolute opposite mind of the negation. You see, so So in short, how you negate the negation, how you purify the delusion, the purify the delusion of self-grasping attitude or self-grasping attitude of phenomena, or purify the negation, negation obstacle to nirvana, negation obstacle to omniscience, is just simply by realizing the opposite mind of that negation. You see, so realizing the opposite mind of negation itself is negating the negation. Mhm. So even conventionally, nothing exists as an object of agent or harm. You see, so here, if taking in the philosophical understanding from the Chitta Mataran view, it would be very helpful. At least at the initial level, for some individual directly referring to the Pasangika's view, it may be quite subtle, because you need to establish everything as existing as a merely label by mind. You see, but for the Chiddamataran view, at least the true existent mind, establishing existence. But at the same time, they're helpful for us to get to the point of negating the very gross, substantial grasping onto the object, because Chitta Mataran do not assert, the substantial existence, not relying on the subject, the mind. Every existence is only merely expression of the imprint of the mind. That nothing externally exists. You see, nothing external out there to be attached as a person, as a body, as a good and bad. There's nothing out there for us to get angry, for us to attach. All are expressions of the mind. You see, so Chitta Mataran view of mind only school view of understanding at the initial level to lessen the grasping, it is beneficial. But that is not the ultimate. But that will help us to get closer to the Pasangika's view of saying that not in order to exist or in order to purify things, does not require the help of any substantial existence, any true existence, any inherent existence. Every single existence is just simply do not exist inherently, substantially, nothing. It just simply exists merely in the name. You see, so it is so helpful just to even to have a little idea that everything is just exists merely in the name. So when you relate this understanding to a problem, to a very negative situation comes in our way, if you have a strong repeated habitual understanding or habitual imprint in relation to the view that interpreted by the Pasangika, it is so helpful. Like at least, yes, out there is very painful. Yes, the situation is very painful, but in actual reality, it's just simply labeled by mind. It just simply exists in the name. There's no basis inherently or substantially that I kind of have to struggle that it would be so hard for me to eliminate, because it's substantially stuck somewhere that I need to go and search that, and I need to rid of it in order for me to rid of the problem. So it is. You see, so it helps. It helps immediately to lighten our heart. Even just have a little understanding, or at least have some kind of even though my diluted mind, the past karmic impact of this, the environment of the contaminated aggregates, it is so vivid. It sounds like so vivid that problem and things are really out there. you see, really was given by somebody, or really is, is something that I needed to take out, need to do operation like that, you see, you won't have that kind of very, very stiff kind of mind. You have a sense of lightfulness of mind, you see. So even though, like, we go through some, health difficulties, and some people even need to go through operations of certain physical health issues. Yes, you need to cut those, cells, and get rid of it. Those wounds need to stitch, etc. But the main thing where the sufferings and the fear and the anxiety comes from is from the grasping, and that grasping, grasping of, oh, so painful, grasping of, oh, it is frightening to my life, grasping of, oh, this will really bring, total disaster in my way, etc., etc. In fact, all these are misconception. All these are wrong thinking, mistaken thinking, thinking totally opposite from the actual reality, you see. But because of thinking those negatively, it brings immense of suffering, immense of inconvenience, in our way. But by understanding the actual reality, the cutting of the negative cell, that when you do operation, is very much like how to say, just peeling off, or cutting, cutting what do you call, those bad part of the apple, and just cutting off, and getting rid of it. It doesn't kind of hurt deeply emotionally when you have the emptiness of understanding, or emptiness view. At least have the understanding of everything exists merely in the name, that alone bring immense of liberations, you see, immense of liberation to your heart, especially when we go through these challenges, you see. And for some individual, yes, we understand, but when in the actual application, you have a hard time. You still feel it's very heart aching, very difficult, it's very hurtful. It still feel hurt. Yes, you understood, but it still feel hurt. And that is because of lacking of strong habitual imprint of the emptiness view, you see. So therefore, in many cases, it could be even so helpful just simply chanting, just to leave as strong imprint as possible. Simply chanting that everything is, merely labeled by mind. Everything exists just merely in the name. Everything exists merely in the name. Just simply habituating our mind, training our mind. Leaving a strong imprint. It can be so helpful in a very challenging time, in a very difficult time. Just just even that word, tongbanyi, tokbe partasam, means it's mainly labeled by mind, Mingzam do truba, whatever. Then, of course, someone that who really, on the basis of that understanding, that who do a lot of absorption meditation, then it would be even more effective. It literally, that you have no grasping at all. When there's no grasping, even your whole hand is chopped away. Emotionally, you don't feel any pain. You don't feel any suffering. You see, and you don't feel any inconvenience. You still, someone that who have wisdom of acceptance in relation to understanding of interdependent arising, as well as the wisdom of voidness. When your right hand is chopped away, you still feel so happy, and you still get you still manage perfectly with the left hand. You see, or both hands are chopped away, and you still manage with whatever you have. You see, so the grasping is the main problem. Is not the actual physical, having the hand. or not having the hand. That's not the main issue. The main issue is the grasping. You see, for some people, you know, you can see even in our ordinary world, you know, there's some some people don't have totally, all the four limbs are not there, but they were so motivational, they were so optimistic, they were so happy, you know, and they perform the benefit to the world more than, you know, people who have all the faculties. And that is a proof, you see. So you see, then talks about wealth, talks about family member. You know, some people have, you know, like richfulness, you know, is a billionaires, millionaires, but so miserable, you see. And who make the miserable? Grasping. You see, as far as kind of external help, the wealth is abundant there, but that didn't help. You see, that is a clear example again. You see, some people have so many family members, but full of, you know, disagreements and arguments and, you know, disharmony, you know, until people feel like running away to the cave, like Kimda Pelge, you know, during Buddha's time, you know, he wanted to run away to monastery. He even wanted to jump from the cliff, just because of feel so annoyed by too many family members. You see, you see, so it's just the main problem. The main problem annoying you is actually the grasping. Is a grasping, is it? And there are many yogics, you know, who live total alone in the cave, you know, and their heart is like filled with, you know, all the environment that they require, like kind of supports and you know, whatever, you know, you see. So the grasping is the main thing. You see, grasping is the main thing. So in order to release the grasping, eradicate the grasping, then the emptiness is the most powerful. Again, I repeat, you know, at least as a beginner, or at least for those of you know, us that who have not read or study all the different ways of interpreting the emptiness. You know, also you can put aside all the philosophical views, whatever. Just simply chanting, simply remembering, and reminding yourself that everything exists just simply merely in the name, and do not exist at all, even the subtlest substance, from the object side or from the subject side. Nothing, just simply exists in the name. So you keep chanting that, keep reminding that. So, you know, somehow that, you know, our mind start to you know, gain wisdom from there. You know, at least, you see. You see, even just to hear the name of emptiness, you know, like precious garlands, or there's so many other, you know, philosophers' scriptures have talking about the evil smash the concreteness of the samsara. You know, it will shake in the concreteness of the samsara. It means samsara is a misunderstanding. You know, samsara is the suffering, the suffering wall, or the suffering idea, the grasping itself. You see, so it will be trembled, it will be completely cracked, you know, shaken into pieces. Just even hearing one emptiness, just even that, you see, that much power, that much blessing that we can obtain in our heart, you see. So therefore, yeah. So yeah, these are things that we have to, you know, we have to practice in our day-to-day life, you see, because our emotion is up and down like roller coaster in our day-to-day life, and external disturbances is like a rainfall, you know, from everywhere. When you open your ear, when you open your eye, whatever, you know, it's so many difficulties out there. You see, so that is the opportunity for us to use the the technique or the antidote of emptiness understanding, emptiness, at least the emptiness word, by reminding it, so check it out. So since self is an awareness of the devoid of substantial reality, and the agent of the harm is awareness devoid of substantial reality as well, neither exists as the object of impairment and agent of impairment. Everything is empty, and emptiness cannot be attacked by emptiness. You see? So everything is emptiness. So everything is emptiness here, meaning the nature of every existence is emptiness. You see? Or in another way of understanding, conventionally, everything is interdependent arising. You see? So otherwise, you say everything is emptiness. Are you emptiness? If someone debate with you, are you emptiness? The answer has to be no, because emptiness, one of the characteristic of emptiness has to be permanent. You are not permanent, isn't it? If I debate with you, are you emptiness? Because the text says everything is emptiness. You see, everything is empty, and emptiness cannot be. And everything is empty. Everything is empty. Are you empty? You see, are you empty? You are not empty, isn't it? Empty means non-existent. You are existent, isn't it? You do exist, isn't it? So here, everything is empty is referring to everything is emptiness. Everything is emptiness is referring to everything's nature is emptiness. Everything's nature lies in the lack of inherent existence. You see, so therefore, you are not empty. You are not emptiness. So if you are empty, then you have to be non-existent. So you are existent, isn't it? If you are emptiness, then that means you have to be permanent. You are impermanent, isn't it? You are surely impermanent. You choose your name or your identity before you are born is not there. After you're born, it's there. Then after this entire existence, the basis will be ceased. Our identity also will be ceased. When we take rebirth as a other being, this identity will be ceased. You see, so so we do hear this word. Everything is emptiness. It is. It has to be interpreted directly, just to say actually this is not a correct way to say that everything is emptiness. In fact, it's incorrect way to say. You see, everything lies in the nature of emptiness. This is the correct way of saying. Everything's nature is emptiness. Is the correct way of saying. You see, I have given a reason before. The one of the reason is permanent, impermanent reason. You see, then everything is empty. Here the word saying is correct. Everything is empty, but you have to interpret it, what it means. Otherwise, say everything is empty is also incorrect. You see, everything is empty. Everything is empty. Everything is nothingness. It's incorrect, isn't it? You see, so everything is empty, meaning is everything empty of inherent existence. Emptiness cannot be attacked by emptiness. So therefore, since the nature of entire thing, including the harm giver and the suffering adversities, lies in the nature of emptiness, And when you realize that, and that emptiness cannot be attacked by anything else, because emptiness cannot be attacked by emptiness. You see? Or in another word, since that everything's nature lies in the emptiness, that cannot disprove is not emptiness by emptiness. So another way of understanding is that. You see? But inherent existence can be attacked by emptiness, because inherent existence is not there. Therefore, emptiness can able to attack it. You see. So in another word, in another understanding, what it meaning is that when you understand the emptiness nature of things, or the things it is nature as an emptiness, then you found the ultimate truth. You found the ultimate thing. Until you found that, that assertion, the assertion of inherent existence, assertion of true existence, all will be defeated, because there's no inherent existence out there. When you bring out the emptiness wisdom, the inherent existence grasping will be naturally cease. You see, so it is also this word meaning is also you see, emptiness cannot be attacked by emptiness cannot be attacked by emptiness, meaning when you the ultimate truth, ultimate reality of I and the rest of the phenomena, when you actualize ultimate reality or ultimate truth of self and the phenomena in the understanding of lack of inherent existence, and that finding is the ultimate, and no other wisdom, no other ideas can dismiss that assertion or dismiss that finding. You see, so that is ultimate finding, like that. So it's very much like this the finding of interdependent rising, or finding of emptiness. What Buddha have found 2,600 years ago, based on our era, based on the time of Shakyamuni Buddha, until now, no one able to prove false of that finding. No one. Even though in the earlier philosophical view have asserted many different ways of understanding of emptiness, but all has been defeated, disproved by the ultimate view of the emptiness, the Pasangika view. You see, so it's not like today's science. Today's science are marvelous. Today one greatest scientist may find something, but then tomorrow there's some new ideas came up, and today's science even called as ultimate finding. What do you call evolve or have to seize that finding as ultimate finding because of the new discovery. But in the Buddhist view of emptiness, there's no such. That one finding is ultimate. Even before Buddha's, the historical Buddha's time, as long as how many numberless of the past Buddhas have existed in the course of the wisdom of emptiness. So ever, and ever in future, this finding will be never be ceased. It is ultimate, you see. So it's like nothing can be attacked. Mm-hmm. Also in another way of understanding is that if we really want to know the truth about everything, truth about you, truth about your way of thinking, truth about your understanding, others understanding, other things, whatever it is, then get to understand the emptiness, get to see the ultimate in emptiness as an understanding or as a nature of those phenomena, and that is ultimate. That cannot be attacked by anything else. Not even by the emptiness. That's why emptiness cannot be attacked by emptiness. Just as the eastern part of the sky cannot cause harm to the western part, the object of impairment and the agent of impairment cannot injure each other. Therefore, since your current perceptions are illusion of diluted mind, the self, the object of impairment, and the illness, other than being construct of your mind, nothing can be established in the terms of identity. You see, so nothing, all the sicknesses, is very much all hallucinational. You see, nothing can be established in terms of identity in the cancer, in the stroke, or in the virus, or whatever. The actual reality is everything, creation of the perception. You see. So again, here one thing, that when we say everything creation of perception, meaning it's creation of the mind, and you see, cause and effect. Because of negative action, then the negative result. Like such as this coronavirus, it is definitely a result of the negative actions of the past, of our collectively or individually. You see, and those negative actions are committed by the motivation. It started with the motivation, negative thinkings. You see, and that negative mind is the concept. You see, that also one of the understanding. It doesn't mean merely labeled by mind. It doesn't mean only the empty part of it. It doesn't mean not relating to the causality, the interdependent aspect. Otherwise, we may fall into that nihilism. But as mentioned again before, still there is a benefit, even though the causality aspect of interdependent aspect of ultimate reality is there in every experiences. But when you reduce the grasping through understanding empty of inherent or substantial existence, then the pain decreases. The suffering in relation to the experience decreases. So the earlier interpretation is very much taught. It is taught saying that your own mind is Mara. Your own mind is the obstructive force. All obstructive force arise from the conceptualization. Therefore, relinquish conceptualization. So that's so true, isn't it? Your own mind is the Mara. Yes, that, and we have to chant this again. Otherwise, we think that Mara is somewhere outside there. Your own mind is the obstructive force. Whatever obstructive force, suffering, everything, delusions. Also need to chant. You need to have a strong imprint in order to help us that our mind is the player. In that way we can have a constructive mind. We can have a positive mind. Clear mind, open mind. You see, so all obstructive forces arise from the conceptualization. Therefore, relinquish conceptualization. Okay, I will read, continue. Because you have grasped your concept as real, as true, as something separate from the mind, and as a full written, this has produced all the suffering of silent existence. Apart from your own conceptualization, nothing outside is an obstructor. Therefore, your own conceptualization is the sole object of elimination. When examined in the manner, everything comes down to your mind, you see. So this is the way to examine, Then you just put everything aside externally, everything you start to focus inwardly. And you find the mind is the player. Again, the benefit is you start to, construct the mind, correctly. So that's the way how to take the healing, how the healing take place. And the mind too, when examined, is found to be emptiness. You see, so the earlier one is very much like the mind-only school way of thinking. Okay, nothing out there, nothing substantial out there. Everything is, it's a process of mind. Everything is expressions of mind. It's helpful. It's still helpful. It's far more greater helpful than the Vaibhasika and Saudantika Vaibhasika and Sutra follower would say. Vaibhasika and Sutra follower very much, distracted by the existence of external substantial existence. So it's a greater, intense, hallucinational obstructions are there. But when you reach to the Chitta-Matra view, already lightened. Already lightened. At least the external side you already put aside. Even the parameter where you're going to search the source of the suffering, you only have the mind there, because externally already rejected, isn't it? You see, helpful. So now after that, then when the mind, when and the mind too, when examined, it found to be emptiness. So now this one is very much, you move, very much jump to Pasangika Madhyamika's view, the final view. So when you go to examine the mind also lack of substantial existence. Not like Chitta-Matra. Chitta-Matra is still something stuck there. Yes, world is very painful. Yes, sufferings are very, very great. Yes, the wound, the pain of the wound and the cancer, all this. Oh wow, so it's something that is like concrete in your mind as an imprint. Like you are so struggling to take out that imprint out in order to cure from cancer, in order to cure from all the adversities, all the difficulties. You see, still something solidness is stuck there, because there's a true existing mind is the one that which bring production of adversities in your life. You see, the Chitta-Matra way. You see, so now when you move to the Pasangika Madhyamika, now when you examine the manner of the mind itself, then it comes to empty. You see, the mind itself also is a lacking of true existence, lacking of inherent existence, lacking of substantial existence. So that meaning, whatever problem that is happening to me, it's just a name, just the idea only. You see, there's nothing, not even one single substance that I need to pluck and take out, and so that I will feel free. You see, just even from comparing this, there's much more subtle, much more liberating, isn't it? Isn't it? You see? So this is a very, very nice, a very wonderful structure for us to gradually, move more towards the subtle and, get to the point. You see? When examined in this manner, everything comes down to your mind. And the mind too, when examined, is found to be emptiness. Emptiness of substantial existence, emptiness of inherent existence. We have to get to that point, in order to really feel like a thorn. For the Vaibhasika Saudantika, it's like the thorn is on the physical hand. In order to free from the suffering of the wound of the thorn, packing on the. You literally have to go out there and take out. Then you feel free. You see, but for this, for the Chitta Matra, much lesser work. You don't have to go out, where the thorn is, but still the thorn is, invisibly in your mind. You see, you need to plug that out. You see, still some work there. But for the Pasangika, Madhyamika, like Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti's view, like that, Buddha's ultimate view, is you don't have to go out anywhere else. You don't have to go even to the mind inside, something to take out, clean out, in order to feel liberated. Because it is just an idea that you are carrying on. As long as you delete that idea, you separated from all the, you liberated. Nothing to be separated, because nothing there out there to be separated, nothing out there to be deleted, nothing out there to put into a trash. You see, nothing out there to be cleansed. You see, as long as your idea is disappeared, idea is like, as long as your, the grasping idea turn into a wisdom of empty, you are liberated. You are free from the pain. You're free from the suffering. So it helps. You see, like that. So more the intense you have this meditation, this training to the mind, easier for us to get out of the suffering that you are facing in relation to our health issue, the rest of the issues that we have. Okay, so this process is so wonderful. It's like the yummiest thing. It's just this part. And you put the four philosophical schools view come together. Then now you can also see how helpful these four philosophical views presentations are. There's no difference between the clear light nature of your own mind, the clear light nature of the mind of all sentient beings, and the pristine cognition of the Buddha's enlightened mind. So in that ultimate nature, sentient being, Buddha, yourself, everything come into one taste of the Dharmakaya. How amazing, That is the discovery. That is a discovery of emptiness of, your being. You see, your being. You see, okay, there's, philosophical understanding to understand, to realize the Dharmakaya of your mind, then you need to become Buddha. But to realize the emptiness of your mind, don't have to be Buddha. Okay, this is just a philosophical standpoint, philosophical understanding. So if you use a word that, have you realized, or you can say, those who are in the path of seeing, still Bodhisattva, not Buddha yet, have this Bodhisattva in the path of seeing realize the Dharmakaya of his mind? The answer is no. Because if you say that he realized the Dharmakaya of his mind, means he actualized omniscience. But he definitely is an Arahat, Arya being. That means he definitely realized emptiness directly, isn't it? So, meaning he also realized emptiness of his mind. So, he realized the emptiness of his Dharma, his mind. He realized the emptiness of his mind, which is referring as a Dharmakaya. But in the wording, you have to be, used separately, differently, like that. But in any way, the Dharmakaya, sentient being, Buddha, and ours, it's just simply lack of inherent existence of the mind. Buddha's mind also simply nothing more than lack of inherent existence of the mind. Sentient being's mind also nothing more than lack of inherent existence of the mind. Your mind also nothing more than lack of inherent existence of the mind. So first we understand, then contemplate, then meditate, then you realize. That meditation, that realization, continue to improve, then you actually achieve the actual result in Dharmakaya. So why this is important? Why this is important? Because the realizing the emptiness of your mind, in fact, is the direct cause, direct continuum cause of the future continuum of the resultant Dharmakaya. Without that, whatever you do also, you cannot achieve Dharmakaya. Even you develop bodhicitta cannot act as a direct cause of that Dharmakaya. You see, so that is important. The process for that is, first you understand emptiness. Secondly, you conceptually realize emptiness. Then thirdly, you realize emptiness directly, non-conceptual realization of emptiness, and that developed through the meditation process along the 5 paths. Then that will deliver the actual result in Dharmakaya. They are equally Dharmakaya and Buddha body of reality. So who can be harmed? Who caused the harm? And how is anyone harmed? Ultimately, nothing exists as a separate reality conventionally. However, all illness and malevolent forces exist as your own concept. Reflecting that, the concept too exists as a Dharmakaya. The concept too, lies in the nature of lack of inherent existence, and that itself is the Dharmakaya. You see, so even the negative concept, when you see the ultimate truth of that, you don't see any more negativities on there. You don't experience any delusion in there. Rather, you experience Dharmakaya, bliss, voidness. Rather, you actualize the Dharmakaya, the total freedom of the misconception. You see, so therefore, the way to get liberated from delusion, one of the most powerful tool is to try to see the emptiness of that delusion. Is to try to see the emptiness of that delusion. That is the best way to find out the absolute, freedom or absolute truth of that delusion. Place the mind natural rest, free of any conceptualization. So reflect that the concept too exists as a Dharmakaya. So place the mind naturally at rest, free of any conceptualization. Like throwing up vomit, place your mind free of all clinging. So all these experiences, given as example here, throwing up vomit, feel the relief. When you have some stomach pain, when nausea, you throw the vomit, you throw the poison, as well as you get relief. You feel liberated, isn't it? So similar way, you see, when you look in the way of the emptiness wisdom onto any misconcept, any concept or any negative thoughts, any misconceptions, then the moment that you see the truth of it is like that negativities, that negative emotions and the concept will get rid of you as like throwing up vomit. Then that way that you can able to place your mind free of clinging, and that is the field of liberation. Like the corpse of the leper, discard it as it is way of no use, like that. Like a dead prison, empty house, like a dead person's empty house, release it without clinging. Yeah, you see. So during the training, initial stage, we have to train our mind to loosen the clinging, taking these examples, any clinging, any grasping, any negative emotion, seeing them as a useless, seeing them as like a leprosy corpse, like discarding it, if there were no use, like that, like the corpse of the leopards, like that. Then like a dead person's empty house, releasing it without clinging. You see, so using these examples and and think the useless of all the graspings, then you release it. Whenever you have agitations, or strong attachment or anger, etc., then at least remind ourselves the no meaning of these graspings, through these examples, then learn to release it. Uh, you know, so that way it can be, uh, then eventually, of course, uh, you get into the actual meaning of the emptiness of this graspings and clinging, and that way, then we can ultimately able to purify. Reflect, although phenomena are not established primordially, yet I remain bound, as though unable to undo knot made in the sky or strangled by a tortoise hair nose. As such, my mind has arisen as a demon and chained by the conceptualization. I remain bewildered in suffering. So this is the how we experience suffering. All hopes and fears, such as fearing illness or harm from ghosts or hoping to be cured of illness, as well as all thoughts of negations and affirmation in emptiness. Place them all within the sphere of emptiness and release them within ultimate reality itself. So require at least I mean, again, there are people that who very new to emptiness, then at least have some, give some how to say, some at least give some thoughts on the emptiness, on this word, even just simply the word, and that way somehow will trigger you to open the door to get to the closer to the actual understanding. You see, and those who have emptiness understanding, then you use that understanding at least by giving reasoning and try to place the ultimate reality itself in emptiness. Everything try to place onto emptiness, voidness of all those negativities, and yeah, so at least through much analysis and try to just conclude, placing onto the voidness of those difficulties, sicknesses, etc. You see, and if you can manage, then after placing to that voidness through reasoning, then you engage in some moments or some time in a single pointed meditation. Just try to be in the voidness, where you come to through process of analysis, emptiness analysis, and you reach to a point that yes, this sickness, this problem, in fact, is really there's lacking of it is basis of substantial reality or inherent reality. In fact, it comes into absolute voidness, empty of it, like total non-existent, total nothingness of inherent or substantially existent. So in that voidness, like a space, empty, try to meditate single pointedly as much as possible. And that will take a very powerful healing especially to those who go through painful, operations and any form of sufferings. It will be very, very helpful. Try to remain in that voidness as much as possible. Imagine that unable to bear this, you react violently, pulling at them. Pulling at the hem of your clothes and shouting your name loud. You tremble, the hair on your body stand up, and you experience the dissolution of the 10 classes of consciousness. At that instant, although there are two statements of awareness, think that they are both your mind, both your own mind. They are but different modes of perception. As you contemplate thus, your thought and awareness will calm, and your body and mind will rest in their own natural state. When the thought arises spontaneously, or everything is my mind, conceptually down in its nakedness. So you see, when you go through that process, as mentioned before, you know, our ordinary mind, beginner's mind, still will struggle with two different kind of like ideas, two different kind of voices. Like one is like, like how possible to be, an example. Okay, very clear in the word here. You read it, you understand. But just to put it in simple, like I just had to operate, this nasty sickness, and how to really to accept that, it's like there's nothing exists there. That kind of voices, that kind of difficulties may arise. The voice may come into your understanding. Then there's another powerful voice is, the gradual, the educated mind, process in emptiness, really start to kind of feel it, and understood and feel it, really the voidness of, uh, uh, the negativities that you are experiencing. You see, so that's the reality. So when that kind of things comes in our way, then uh, then your thought and awareness will, you see, then you try to, you don't give up, put more effort towards the emptiness mind, and eventually you will win, from the negative side, because you build up that strength, very very steadily, gradually. You come up to this point. So then your body and mind will rest in their own natural state. You physically start to calm, mentally start to get calm. Somehow, whole system is kind of like subdued. Then when thought arises, then naturally, by the force of earlier process of training, there's a possibility of, arising spontaneous kind of awareness. Then, everything is mind. Then they come to like everything, like feel like it is really a projection of your mind. Uh, like when you watch TV, you see people inside the TV. You have been thinking they're out there, and you get emotionally attached. But in actual reality, it's just a play. The real person is not out there. It is very much the play of the TV, like that. So it's very much play of your mind. Then conceptually down it in nakedness. Then in a deep conceptually, you come to a state of kind of like losing of that strong grasping, and non-conceptually down into it is nakedness, by losing the conceptual graspings. So therefore, when the sickness marveled first and your own self examined with the pristine cognition of discriminative awareness, none are found have ever come into being. This is the unborn Dharmakaya. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the session, when we talk about the four Buddha's body. So this is the first one. The unborn has no cessation, and this absence of the cessation is unceasing enjoyment body, Buddha body. The second one, between origination and cessation is no abiding, and this absence of abiding is a non-abiding emanation Buddha body. Third one, that which does not exist in any of the three times, devoid of substantial reality. And this absence of substantial reality is the natural Buddha body, the fourth Buddha body. View this absence of the four resultant Buddha's body, which are separate from the three factor of sickness, malevolent force, and your own mind, as the actual four Buddha's body. In this way, you recognize the very conceptualization place the four Buddha's body in your very palm. View every conceptualization as a resounding signal of ultimate reality. In the initial the verse when we explain the three view. So this first one. Second one is view all illness and the violent force as an embodiment of kindness. The second and third. So this is the instruction and introducing the four Buddha's body, which present the transformation of adverse condition onto the path means of ultimate awakening mind. To conclude the practice of the true awakening mind, or as the meditation implicit within it, cultivate the following viewpoint to help cut the knots of expectations and apprehensions. Since these perpetrators of harm has led me to train in the true awakening mind, it is placing enlightenment in my very palm. So this is how the harm givers are doing this thing like that. It is thus most kind indeed. Furthermore, like a messenger, it bears the warning. Since suffering like the present one comes about as a consequence of the cause a negative, non-virtuous karma, if you wish to avoid suffering, you should purify its cause, the negative karma. So whatever suffering that arises, don't feel upset, don't feel emotionally pain and sad. Rather, one should think that this is the opportunity that comes in my way to purify the karma, because all the sufferings are a result of negative karma. And in karma, definite karma, indefinite karma. Definite karmas are result must have to go through it. So now the result is already going through it, and at least still can have conducive conditions of medical treatment, family, and the carers around. Not like in the hell realm. If this karma is not purified now, then the karma has also power to increase. Karma has its own natural nature of increasing it. So if this negative karmas increase, then the result may need to experience in the hell realm, where there is no medical service, where there is no carers, people who pray for you, etc. Not down there, there's nobody, no nurse, etc. Nothing. You see. So instead of feeling sad, you should feel very fortunate that I experience this sickness now in this human body while I have this Dharma mind. Wow, this is the best opportunity for me to purify completely, entire, taking this opportunity, this sickness, as a most marvelous cause and condition for me to purify entire past negative karma. And not only that, also, all the future suffering that there may be, you bring onto this and purify. Not only that, you also take other sentient beings suffering onto this and you purify, and that way, not only purify the root cause of the suffering, it also purify those it also create new virtuous causes for prevention of further accumulation of negative karma and also sufferings like that. So it's a really wonderful. And then you can see that from great masters, our gurus, whenever they go through some health issues or troubles, for them it's like, wow, this is blessing. They don't get affected. Emotionally, they don't get affected negatively. Rather, they take so positively. So in the future, forsake all negative acts. You also take all the for future negative acts. Purified by this suffering. The perpetrator of harm is therefore kind indeed. So therefore, whoever, like, could be spirit, could be nagas. Many sicknesses are result of causing harm to nagas, so that the nagas harm you, landlords harm you, as elemental spirits, like strokes and cancer, etc. There's so much related to elemental disturbances, pollutions, etc. So you see, so therefore, so they harm you, they condition for you to experience ripen past negative karma into a cancer, into other sicknesses. You see, so now here, instead of be revengeful or be rather you should feel thankful, for these harm givers helping me to purify entirety of my samsara, on this experience of physical or mental pain, whatever going on like that. So therefore, the perpetrators of harm is kind indeed. Think these perpetrators of harm expose my lack of antidotes. Also think like that. You see, when there's no suffering, then don't realize the dharma. How importance of the dharma. So you should think that, because dharma is most important, because not only helpful for now, but also helpful for the longer journey, for future lifetime. If you don't remember dharma, you're missing the meaning of life. You see, so therefore this threat to death, sufferings, harms, all this really remind us dharma. You see, and in that reason, is so thankful. So my failure even to notice affliction arising and thereby identifying emanation of my teacher. So we don't even recognize negative action as a negative, etc. Only when the teacher teach the dharma, then we realize, what are the negative, what are the positive, what are dharma, what are non-dharma, what is the meaning of life, what is not meaning of life, etc. Otherwise, we hardly remember. So when sickness and when problems comes in our way, then you realize what are the most important in your life, and what to be avoided, what to be adapted. So therefore, all these problems are actually in the form of teacher. You can think like that. So thinking thus, view them with the joy of the depth of your heart. Think furthermore, this perpetrator of harm reveal within this very life and suffering of the future lifetime in the lower realms, the fruit of the past life's negative karma. He hold the drawstring of the sect of the lower realm, and it therefore most kind indeed. Reflecting, if he has benefited me this much, he must definitely be an expressions of the enlightened activities of the teacher and the three jewels. Thing like that. View the perpetrator of the harm as a desirable. Thing like that. Enduring and close your heart. Thing like that. You should view sickness and suffering as a possessing similarly beneficial qualities. So you see, so not to depress. Not to feel that why you are victim of sickness, why you are victim of others' harm. No, for the practitioner of Lojong, for the in the eyes of emptiness and bodhicitta, oh wow, all these are so beneficial. So that means everything is beneficial for you. Everything is meaning for you. You see, something like that. Even if you contract leprosy, you should reflect. This will bring future suffering to a fore. Should think like that. So similar, any form of suffering, you should think like that. So that don't have to experience in lower realm. So this life is but a momentary event. And if I were not afflicted by leprosy and illness, my mind would be embroiled in the chores of this life, leading me to accumulate a negative karma. So if this misfortunes don't come in our way, we're completely stuck with the worldly concerns. In particularly stuck with the wrong concept of permanent of life, like ever living, etc., then we don't really pursue the meaning of life. So you see, so given that illness and so on, and in this mundane way of life, um, abruptly and enable me to encounter Dharma. They help me take the essence of this bodily existence. So fortunate like that, you see. View leprosy and sickness with heartfelt, uncontrived joy, uh, with all the reasoning, then you really can develop joy in the pain, joy in the problems. Furthermore, think sickness and suffering agent true renunciation in me. Without that, no liberation. You see, suffering, problem, difficulty really make you renounce of worldly attachment. Samsaric attachment. You see, attachment to life and body and possessions and etc. etc. No renunciation, no wisdom, no altruism. So you see, so. For without suffering, there can be no true renunciation. Yeah. So since they definitely help dispel the affliction of my mind, they help me realize the teachings intent. So they are most kind indeed. So should think like that. For it is stated, with disenchantment, arrogance is dispelled. Furthermore, suffering brings forth compassion, which is the root of the great vehicle. So suffering, suffering brings renunciation to yourself, and the suffering brings compassion to others. You see, so very important. Towards samsaric being, generate compassion. Because of the suffering, then you're able to relate others are in the same situation, such suffering, then you're able to generate great compassion. Reflect suffering, dispel all my suffering, and secure all my happiness, and therefore bring me benefit. So the present suffering, present illness, present suffering, dispel all the suffering result of all the past negative karma and the present negative karma. It will dispel. And also the present suffering, because of the present suffering, you get renunciation, you understood the meaning of life, you start to practice virtue, you start to generate compassion, then secure by accumulating immense of causes for all the future happiness. So this is how beneficial the suffering can be. Just as your teachers and preceptors are most kind in conferring vows upon you and giving teachings, sentient beings and malevolent element forces too assist you in attaining enlightenment, like that. You should therefore view all of them too as your spiritual teacher and contemplate their great kindness. You see, so how we respect our teachers and Buddhas, based on their benefit to us. Suffering also has a similar kind of benefit that grant to us. So therefore you think like that and respect the thing as a teacher, like that. When you learn to train your mind in this manner, all activities of your body, speech, and mind, and everything that appears in the field of your sense will be transformed into the two accumulations: accumulation of merit of wisdom, accumulation of merit of method. Or in other words, accumulation of development of bodhicitta and development of the wisdom of emptiness. Then eventually will result, absolute Buddha, Buddha's form body and Buddha's wisdom body. From that point onward, you will obtain the spiritual practice that ensure nothing is wasted. When you obtain this, when you're able to practice, when in a difficult time, when you able to practice this, then we really ensure, we really able to, obtain the spiritual practice that ensure nothing is wasted. Entire aspect of our life experience is not wasted. Everything able to take on to path to enlightenment. It is from here that the three innumerable eons start. You see, from this very time, then the actual accumulation of the three countless eons of merit starts. You see, so in fact, in the bad time, when we are sick, then when we really able to, transform that or take that into a path of enlightenment, then the really genuine, uncontaminated, pure aspect of merit of method and merit of wisdom start to accumulate. Then the actual starting of the accumulation of three countless eons merit. During good time, quite mixed. Mixed with the worldly concerns, bit of attachment, bit of aspiration, aspiration to enlightenment and attachment, like mixture, So sometimes the virtue or the meritorious dharma is not necessarily can be so pure as for beginner. For beginner, when the suffering comes, then because the dharma practice becomes so pure because there's a pure renunciation is there. So every practice become the practice of renunciation. Dharma become that dharma is the dharma of renunciation, meaning dharma of the path. Virtue of the path. You see, and the path that will definitely lead to enlightenment, isn't it? Or liberation. So that's the meaning. With this, the training in the true awakening mind, the special thought has been presented. Thank you. Big apology with too much of my mumbling distraction. I took more than your half an hour. So I will fast from my dinner because I took too much of your time. Or no, maybe the better way is please go and have a nice whatever, supper, dinner, tea, cake, ice cream, whatever you like, okay? Okay. If I were there, the bill is on me. But unfortunately, I have to visualize. I will visualize sending the bill for you. Visualize paying your bill for your nice whatever you want to, you want to have it, okay? Just to for me to feel better of taking your more than half hour time. So thank you very much. Okay, now we do the quick dedication. Yeah, so yes, whatever merit we individually, collectively accumulated from this session, in particular, without any doubt, immense of merit were accumulated because, we discuss about emptiness. We mentioned how many times, as you all know, just even mentioning the name of emptiness, it purifies, accumulate merits, like that. So therefore, then also the merit of the past, present, future Buddhas, we dedicate this to all noble sentient beings to purify suffering, actualize temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness enlightenment, and also specifically dedicate this to, dedicate to David, who have been very supportive for Dharma, who works for Dharma, like that. David. Yeah. So David, who is going through a very challenging, health difficulties. So we dedicate this merit, collective merit, for his effective treatment, swift and complete recovery, and have a long and meaningful, happy life, and continue to support who works for Dharma, support for Dharma, like that, and also dedicate to all the others, like good health, long life, swift recovery of Orchid Bath, and many others who have requested prayer. Some of the people, who do not wish to share their name with the public. So whoever requested prayer from me and whoever requested prayer from you, we dedicate this collective merit for them collectively, so it will be so effective. And also dedicate this collective merit for those who pass away within last 49 days, who pass away from a long time, but also in particular those who pass away within 49 days, in particular from these natural disasters that are happening around the world, free from all the suffering of death, suffering of intermediate state, and actualize higher rebirth, meet perfect mind and guru, and actualize full enlightenment within that very lifetime. Also dedicate this collective merit to all the world leaders to have a heart of loving kindness, compassion, view of interconnectivity, so that the people under their care will have peace and happiness and harmony like that. And also especially dedicate those animals, who are slaughtered, during the Dasai in Nepal, in India, wherever, due to the ignorance of religion, in religion understanding, cause so much suffering to the animals, innocent animals, and they deserve, all our prayers and our help. And please dedicate for them to never to be reborn as, such rebirth and actualize higher rebirth and enlightenment within that lifetime, like that. And also dedicate this collective merit to to the great monasteries and all the monasteries to overcome all the coronavirus challenges and have free from all the outer obstacle for them to preserve the Buddha Dharma through extensive study, extensive practices, and encounter all the conducive conditions, to have all the traditional way of extensive learning environment. Right now, due to the coronavirus, a lot of distractions are happening. So may this collective merit able to overcome that, and also dedicate this collective merit to all the beneficial beings of the world, peace and happiness, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, all your spiritual gurus, and all the others, and each and every one of your family, and each and every one of you have a long, healthy, happy, meaningful life. May ever be protected from all the diseases and all the harms. And finally, may dedicate this collective merit for us to have the wisdom and attitude of altruism to able to see the meaning and able to take all the adversities, including sufferings, onto the path to enlightenment, exactly as what we learned today. May we have the full awareness, full wisdom, full mindfulness to able to do so, so that we never experience inconvenience in any experiences in life. We always find meaning in them. Thank you very much. So for coming days, please kindly read through the text I cover. Today's, the pages I cover, please kindly read through. It's very, very clear. The only thing is I make it so messy to you because I insert this and that, too many, I can't help, too many things is there. So just keep, even, too many things, too many salt and sugar put inside. So until for some of you, I may make you even more confused. But when you read through the text, it's so clear, so clear. Especially your English is so good. Even poor English speaking person like me, also I understand very clearly. Actually, many of the word I don't understand, but through the sentence and when I think of the Tibetan word, then I able to understand what meaning. Actually, some of the word I even don't know how to pronounce it. I even don't know how to read it down. The only safety is like think of the Tibetan words. Yeah. Anyway, like that. So please read through it, and yes, especially this chapter. Okay. Taking adversities onto the path, both the conventional and the ultimate. That one, read again and again. Even you have read 100 times, it's still, continue to read it. So, because just by that, it will bring so much imprint. It should be so much helpful like that. Okay. Thank you very, 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 very much, and take care and have a very meaningful and positive week with the Dharma Lojong eyes, Lojong mind. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.